Okay, guys, welcome back to AJS News. This is 2 of 2 videos, but first, a word from our sponsor, which is us. Hey, Other Joe and Alex, looking good today.
Yeah. Thanks.
You did your hair different,
Yeah,
Other
I'll
Joe.
slick back. Yeah, it's a
little
little
slick
longer
back.
today. AI's gotten out of control, bro.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
finally
it's
grew
looking-
facial hair, Joe. Good for you. You turned
Deep
into a white guy.
Yeah, that's
They
deep fake.
gingerfied me.
Hey, guys, obviously, Joe and Alex are on a European adventure on
Euro
another
trip.
vacation.
Yeah,
They'll
Euro
be
trip.
back on Thursday. So Jay and Patrick are filling in for the boys. And this is part 2. Go watch part 1 where we cover a lot of news stories. A lot to cover, surprisingly, in the Game Awards week. But the big thing is the Game Awards. So this is the Game Awards episode where we'll kind of recap what happened there and a little bit of controversy with us in our video. A lot of people hated the fact that we didn't like the Allen. Well, we'll get to all that. There's some legitimate criticism, and I do want to apologize to some people out there, even though, I still feel like I didn't really. Well, we'll get to that.
We're going to talk about it.
But we have several news stories before we get to the Game Awards, other things that happened. Let's start with a huge nerdy. I need help on this news story because this is Intel chip architecture and GPUs and CPUs on a detailed level that you have to understand in order to get it. Intel posts a blatantly hypocritical marketing attack on their main rival, AMD. They thought they got him. They thought they got him. But then people go, wait a minute. Aren't you doing the same thing? And they took it down. And it says, oops, something went wrong. You can't see where it is. And no comment. So what was it? Well, Intel basically threw an attack at AMD in its latest marketing ruse. A post on its website blatantly titled Core Truths. They're trying to expose the truth about AMD, right?
Yeah.
They said AMD is not only like a used car dealer, but also a snake oil salesman.
Oh my god.
But that
Big
post-
shade.
That's a
big shade, bro.
Yeah. But it's now if you try to go to the page, it says, oops, something went wrong. You can't- it's a- well, what did they try to say? Well, let's see if I can get the exact quote here. Here you go. So I found it. Intel has revealed the truth about AMD's latest Ryzen 700 mobile CPU family. Some models use old CPU designs with Zen 2 architecture dating back to 2019. And they're like, ha! I got you, AMD. You suck. You're using old architecture that dates back to further. And it's like,
On your mobile graphics card.
except Intel's own 14th gen desktop CPUs are, of course, based on the same Raptor Lake architecture as its 13th gen CPUs, which are, of course, only a small, tiny tweak of its 12th gen Adder Lake architecture. And all that is before we get into its infamous 14 Skylake architecture, which came out in 2015, and then they rebadged in 2017 as Kaby Lake. Oh, and then they rebadged it again as Coffee Lake. And then Skylake wasn't truly replaced on the desktop until 2021, which by that point it had been sold as a 6th gen, 7th gen, 8th gen, 9th gen, and 10th gen.
So they're
they
worse.
literally did the same shit,
Probably
only
worse.
Worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's horrible.
I stopped paying attention to Intel, I think it was Sandy Bridge is the last, because they just keep on, it's just a new name.
It's
it's
what
like
are they
marketing.
doing?
And that's what it is. Oh, what's the latest thing? Because
Yeah.
the layman doesn't know. Okay, that architecture was.
Yeah,
from that
because I
one.
didn't know this shit. I had to do
They
that
just think it's a new release.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, so you
it's
name-
it's dirty, but
And
it's
then-
typical. It's typical.
And I think Intel has been taking heat from AMD being cheaper and more fit. Some of their processors are better for cheaper. And
I don't know. I think that AMD though has a heat difference. Not really an issue, but a heat difference from Intel. As far as
and so
they run a little bit hotter.
And they do the same shit. So Raptor Lake, of course, not new architecture from AMD. It's almost entirely the same as Adder Lake from back in 2021. And we're over here in 2023. Bottom line is AMD is clearly guilty of some of that. But the thing is, so
But then
is
again,
Intel.
you know, to play devil's advocate, you're not gonna rewrite. You're not gonna
Yeah.
rewrite the whole thing.
It should be based on
It should be
previous
based on
architecture.
something
Yeah.
because
What
it's
he's talking
easier. You're
about.
just improving.
The previous architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
previous one.
it was just like that criticism of AMD and coming at them so hard like that.
Yeah.
It didn't go over well.
It's like, what's the point? Like,
But the post was quickly removed as
it
you
should
know
be.
that culture should change. And somebody at Intel was maybe doing a little bit too much hypocrisy there.
Yeah.
So they reached out to comment. It looks like PC Gamer reached out for them to comment, and we're told we don't have anything new we can comment on right now.
Of course.
They fucked up, and then they acted
comment.
swept
Yeah.
it
No
under
comment.
the rug.
Yeah, we don't
forward
know.
the page.
We don't
and-
know.
In shocking news, Twitch is shutting down.
What?
What? Did you know this? Twitch, fuck, what am I going to do with my life, man? That's half our revenue or whatever.
What are we gonna do on the weekends?
I don't know. No. Twitch is shutting down, but it actually is shutting down in South Korea next year.
Yeah,
That's
I heard about this.
crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
like a huge gaming market?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
frickin'
and it is.
Starfield or
StarCraft.
StarCraft and
StarCraft,
big
yeah.
esports.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of one of the highest rated European, I guess, or Asian MMOs comes from Korea.
Oh, South Korea. Yeah, they
Yeah,
do
they're
tons of
technically-
MMOs.
Yeah.
So they're
I forget what
claiming.
the name of it is anyway, but go
Yeah,
ahead. I'm sorry.
and they're claiming. So why? Why is this happening when that is true?
Money.
Yeah.
And didn't you say earlier to me that they had like one of the best
Yeah.
networks?
So I don't know how far back this was, but I read somewhere that out of all of the internet networks rankings, countries have South Korea's either number one or like top,
or
top
very,
three.
very high at the
Yeah.
top. Yeah,
They have the
together.
best Wi-Fi, internet access,
I believe
internet
it.
speeds.
I believe it.
I believe
Yeah.
it.
Well, they're claiming, and that might be a part of this because Twitch is claiming that network fees are 10 times more expensive than in the other countries.
Right.
10 times.
And,
they
and
say-
it's probably for a reason, right?
I don't
if
know.
if you
that
have
might be a
number
little
one,
too much if we're going
But
10 times.
But if you have number one in the world, and it's going to cost something, right?
Well, let's see.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there's no pathway forward for our business to run more sustainably in that country. They're already complaining about people in the U.S. and trying to jack up their ads and get and lower our cuts. And so if you go over to South Korea and it's 10 times more expensive to even run the service, they're going to be like, cut it. No. You know, instead of making it a loss leader, instead of, highlighting the gaming culture there, they're just going to cut it, I guess.
It sucks too because there are a lot of like South Korean Twitch people out there
Oh,
that
that's
their
right.
their
Yeah.
main audience is North American people.
Yeah.
So like
Livelihoods are being destroyed.
So it's really the small streamer or the
I wonder if Kick can go over there and pick it up, even though they're a startup. And
see, and that's the
they
thing
can
is
use
like
all
where do
their
you go?
fucking casino gambling money to help them. But in a blog post on the website, CEO Dan Clancy offered a more detailed explanation. He says, ultimately, the cost to operate Twitch in Korea prohibitively expensive. We have spent significant effort working to reduce these costs so that we can find a way for Twitch business to remain in Korea. And then he goes on to say that despite reducing the maximum source quality over there to 720 and experimenting with a peer-to-peer model, our network fees in Korea are 10 times more expensive. Twitch has been operating in Korea at a significant loss, and there's no pathway forward for sustainability in that country. So, yeah. Now, where do these come from? They come from South Korea's law that dictates content providers have to pay volume-dependent fees in order to deliver their digital goods through Korean internet service providers. So this is definitely a government thing that maybe could get changed.
Yeah.
It's proven to be a hot topic in the country over the last few years, especially as it targets bandwidth-heavy sites like Google and Netflix, with the latter previously embroiled in a lawsuit with one of South Korea's biggest providers over who should foot this massive bill.
Yeah, so legislation seems to be a big thing with this, and that's something that doesn't change quickly.
Yeah, Twitch tried to do what they could, but terminating the VOD service in South Korea, lowering and degrading the stream to 720.
Wow.
But it wasn't enough, and it doesn't appear like that's going to be. It doesn't appear that Twitch, while Twitch doesn't appear to have been South Korea's largest gaming streaming site, it was certainly up there along with YouTube Gaming and domestic site Africa TV. So there's a domestic South Korean streaming,
Type
Africa
Twitch,
TV. Clancy claims that Twitch will assist Korean streamers in migrating their communities to other streaming sites, saying Twitch is reaching out to several of these services
that's good.
to help with the transition and will communicate it impacted streamers during the discussion process.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good that they're helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because my
But it
first
makes me
thought is,
wonder
like,
if
how much
like-
are they losing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube can handle it, and Africa TV can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, how
curious
much is
why
the loss? Like,
Right.
how,
Twitch can't handle it.
It's
Yeah.
at least they're helping out though. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. All right. So that was some sad news. And unfortunately, I've got a little bit more sad news. The layoffs in the gaming industry, even though this has been an amazing year for games,
Yeah.
like great, high quality, high rated games, most 10 out of 10s I've ever given out in a year. EA has announced, of course, EA has announced layoffs at developer Codemasters to quote unquote meet evolving business needs and priorities.
So we're laying people off to meet business needs. That's
priorities.
That's a new one to me.
The priorities of making endless amounts of money with games that do live service instead of fucking
DLCs,
stupid racing games.
microtransaction.
That I guess they can't monetize as well as Madden and
Please go buy more Ultimate Team.
FC. Yeah, so unfortunately, and this isn't the first time they pared back Codemasters. These guys are one of the better racing game developers. They did it back in November 2022 as well.
Yeah.
Less than a year after acquiring the studio. A lot of people say that EA is where studios go to die. You know, Westwood,
They're like clean
Studios,
house.
Well,
the
EA is where
Command and
people
Conquer.
go and work there for a year and then go build their own studio.
It's like
you
it's
know?
like the Coca-Cola
Yeah.
of the gaming industry.
If you're that lucky enough, but most people who work at EA get kind of laid off and then get fall into this and go to other gaming
corporate
Yeah.
cogs machine.
It sucks because in this successful year, actually statistics is like this is one of the hardest year for game developers. A record number of layoffs happened this year, even though we are in record profits.
yeah.
And it really sucks for these game developers because it's been known that game development has high turnover.
Yeah, it does.
It's like the companies, they make a game, they build up a studio, and then once the game's out, then they downsize. You know,
Yeah.
And I understand the nature of the beast.
yeah, unless and
There's
a lot of people
gotta be something that we can do because
But,
there's like no security in game development.
a lot of people leave out after a game is done and of their own volition to go start, like I
New
said,
projects.
another project or another company.
That's the higher ups, and
Well,
that is if they have
but
capital,
the high-
and that's if
In the
this and
higher
that.
ups-
You're talking about a small ass percentage of people.
But no, the
We're
higher
talking
ups still
about a
need
big
guys.
ass.
If they start another company, they still need
Yes.
people to fill
For sure.
the
sure.
cubicles.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. One company falls, another company is created, staffs up, fires people, falls, another company.
Yeah.
Do you see?
It's
That's
all- it's
not
all the
job
time.
security.
No,
It's-
yeah, I see that, but it's still
it is stressful,
It's a lot of bouncing around.
and I wish there was
And
a
if
way
you're
to
good,
make it less stressful.
if you're good, you can be fine by
Do
bouncing
you want to
around.
bounce around?
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
like it's like a victim of your circumstance. You
Yeah.
know, you're like.
I mean, that's the life of a game
of a
developer.
game. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
So
for
you
sure.
know when.
I'm just
But it
wondering
shouldn't
if
be
there's-
like that.
I'm just
It
wondering if
shouldn't.
there's a way to make
Yeah.
it better to
Union-
somewhat protect
unionize.
these
Yeah.
people. Unionize, Q&A departments particularly. I mean, I remember when I was working for Dell, there were blue badges, and there
Oh,
were like,
God, Dell.
the turnover where if
The
you didn't have a
temps,
blue
dude.
badge, I had no days off. I could be fired at any moment.
Did you temp at
Yeah,
Dell?
I temped.
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I,
I
went
tried
Blue
to temp
Badge. It
at
was
Dell, but then I
fucking-
found out about it, and
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was-
"Oh God, I'm
it's
just gonna
brutal
be
as fuck.
a human
It's
piece
like
of
a
garbage.
video.
Like they'll just throw you away."
Yeah, they throw you away constantly, and then they snatch you up. But it's like, well, fuck, I didn't have any money for 6 months. Now I'm just catching up on
Yeah.
all those bills.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, that's a little history. So moving on. Before we get into the Game Awards, there were some video games that were brave enough to come out around that same time as like What was it? Stellaris Nexus, which I recommend.
We
was
got to
good.
play that. Yeah.
Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader,
Yes.
which we'll play when the boys come back.
I started.
Yeah,
I started.
This guy's already on.
I already started.
6-player cooperative. Maybe
Yeah.
all of us can play
Hey,
together.
yeah.
I'm down.
Sweet.
I'm
That's
down.
crazy.
I
And
get paid
awesome.
on Friday. So.
The other one, the day before.
Oh,
yeah.
Joe.
Me and Patrick played a little bit of this. Go watch our video on it when we tried to play the day
3
before.
hours for me to get into a server.
Four, it was
3
like
hours, man.
4 hours.
Was it just because it's a new game coming out and everybody's trying to?
Well,
you know,
like
rush it?
Dr. Disrespect was on,
Yes.
and it was like, dude, like it was like, yeah, the servers.
all the YouTube streamers,
Yeah.
all the Twitch streamers? I think it got up to about 500,000 on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
somebody told me and alerted me, this was the most watch listed, Steam game ever. So they should have been a little bit more prepared for those servers. A lot of people were wondering, though, is this a real game? Okay? Well, it turns out it is a real game. I just wish it wasn't. That's the byline there. It's a real game. I kind of wish it wasn't because it is horrible. At least the launch day experience is horrible.
Oh, my God, yeah.
We played it again just to make sure, and we actually got to play a few games. And guess what? It is
empty.
empty is the key word. It is
What?
boring. There are no zombies in the zombie game.
We got like attacked by like 4 zombies. Not even a handful.
It was like 3
4.
zombies throughout the whole
Oh, my God.
5 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you shoot them 2 times and then they're
Yeah.
dead. It's like, well, where's the challenge?
Yeah, but in the meantime, you're running around this like beautiful city, and like,
Yeah.
but there's just no meat. There's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
nothing to it. It
And the
feels
loot
like
is
no
garbage.
meat.
You're like, oh, I found a
Right. So
screwdriver.
what's the point? Is going and looting, and the loot is shit. So the loot is shit. The PvP is shit. The gunplay is shit. The zombies are shit. The fucking connection is shit. The lag is shit. The hit detection is shit. And there are so many bugs. It is in early access. The problem is it's $40 fucking dollars. And we and that's why there are overwhelmingly negative right now on Steam.
I'm gonna say that the one thing that isn't shit is its potential. It has
potential.
It has potential.
Yeah.
Like the idea behind it is fucking awesome.
It is. And it'll probably take them another 5. It's already been in development for 5 years to get to this
It's gonna
point.
take 5 more.
It's probably going to take another 5 years for them to get to the next point.
Fuck, man.
But-
I want them to get there though.
In part 2, it'll be good.
In part 2. Yeah, I want a Zomboid, Project Zomboid like
With
this.
good graphics,
With good
yeah.
graphics.
Yeah.
But this ain't it.
That's
cheap.
what this was supposed to be.
$40, I felt fully ripped off. Instead, go play the finals.
Yeah, dude, we had
a
so much fun
blast.
last night playing the finals. It
Yeah.
was
It's a free-to-play game. It's fire. You don't have to drop a bunch of money if you don't want to. In fact, I was like, all right, I've played this long enough.
Yeah, maybe
I like
I
it
should
enough.
buy-
I will give you some money. And I went into the store, and there's nothing I
yeah,
like.
the little
And
cat.
it's like,
there's like a
there's a little cat, but that's
yeah.
$11. I
Yeah,
ain't spending no
for-
$11. And that's just
Come on, for
pure
a cat.
cosmetics. It's
Yeah.
For a cat,
cosmetics.
come on.
It's for
Yeah.
kitty.
I'll give $5,
Little
not 10.
kitty.
Not,
Hey, Joe's over here haggling.
I'll give you
$5.
$3 right now for the cat. But no, so the finals way better. Spend your time in that. But they are getting heat here, maybe for possible false advertising, as they categorized it as an open world MMO. And it's not an MMO. And the camera just went off. Sorry about that. So we restart. Basically, they tried to say it was an MMO. When we played it, not a
No
fucking
MMO.
MMO. They started scrubbing all the areas of all the fucking times they said MMO. And it's the false advertising a little bit. So people are pissed. It has overwhelmingly negative reviews on Steam. And for a reason. It is a $40 early access that's not worth it in the least. And please do not. Instead, go play the finals.
Yes.
But yeah.
The day after is like, man, like even before I could return it, I was like, because I was.
Oh yeah,
I hadn't
we're
even-
sitting there for 2 hours. There's got to be. They got to do something there because that 2-hour limit, like, we couldn't even get
into
a
a game
Yeah.
for 2 hours.
So
it was
people
4
that tried
hours to get into a game.
Fund the game before they realized that this is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're forced to have the game. So I don't know. Maybe we might want to forward some tickets to Steam and be like, hey, what about?
Yeah, I'm like, I
Yeah.
didn't get into a game until 4 hours.
Can I get an exception or something? Yeah, because that's pretty fucked up. All right, well, moving on. Let's go to the Game Awards now. Big award show. Let's do the recap. A little bit of a controversy with us hating on it. We got
great first show with me
blasted.
and Jay.
But I'd say that we are correct in certain aspects and maybe didn't handle it, at least me, I didn't handle it so well in other aspects. And we'll get to the Alan Wake 2
And we
stuff
really
in a bit.
didn't hate on it. It's just we didn't care for it.
It was our
That's
genuine
opinion.
reaction.
Okay,
That's our
let's
opinion.
just talk
That's our
about it
opinion.
now since we're bringing it up. Basically, I got fucking blasted on the video. I think it was one of the most downvoted videos. By the way, the video's down if the stupid fucking blocked in regions and copyright. So we're having to re-render it. It's a 3.5-hour video. It takes forever to put up. So it will be going back up later on. But it got downvoted, a lot of negative comments. Basically, I got utterly blasted for not enjoying the Herald of Darkness Alan Wake 2 dance sequence at the Game Awards and thinking it was cringe. So, I'm sorry to whoever I hurt and who lost faith in me, because people were like, I lost faith in you, Joe. I'm unsubbing. I'm tired of the cynicism and anger. From Angry Joe. Okay, well,
Joe show.
and I'm sorry for not praising that dance sequence like I guess I should have. And many of the weak trailers. No, the trailers were weak. I don't have like there were some people that were mad that we weren't so much more enthusiastic about No Man's Sky sequel.
It's like
Light
it's
the
great
Fire.
you like that game.
Look,
but
I'm
you
a
know, it's
little-
like yeah, we've
you
been hurt
burned me
before.
last
We've been
time.
hurt before.
You burned me last time, and honestly, a lot of the trailers there didn't look all that great. There was a lack of gameplay, and this is a little bullshit because we did give plenty of W's.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
We did
Oh,
get
we
plenty of W's. And we are still excited for gaming. I'm not
Yeah.
lost my. Joe's lost his passion for gaming. Dude, I fucking.
Dude,
There's
we were up
so
till
many
2
games
a.m.
I'm
last night
excited.
gaming.
I know, right? So fuck off. But anyways, listen. In the instance of Alan Wake 2, people were just upset because number one, a lot of people were upset because I used the word sympathy awards. We'll talk about that a little bit. I will apologize for that. And then that I didn't put respect on Sam Lake's name and Alan Wake 2. It's like, all right, bro, I get it. You liked Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
You finished Alan Wake 2. I played it, and actually, if you watch my stream, I actually enjoyed it. I do think it deserves to win some awards. It won 3 awards. It won Best Game Narrative. That's the one I agree with. I'm like, yeah that makes sense. Yeah. And we even said that, I think, in the video. It's going back up. You'll see it. But it also won Best Art Direction. I don't really agree with that one. And you can get mad at me all you want. You can say you're going to unsub from my show. I've lost my touch. But, bro, that's just my opinion. I would much rather tell you my brutal, honest opinion than lie to you and suck your balls off and make you feel better. I'm not about that.
We're human beings. We like different things.
We
That's
like different things.
That's the whole
That's
thing.
the whole
Don't
thing.
yuck
I don't
my
think-
yum. I won't yuck.
I don't think that should have won art direction, but it did. So congratulations. And then the other one is game direction. That one's up. It could have gone to a lot of other games, but it won. I'm more pissed than fucking Hogwarts. Hogwarts Legacy completely snubbed.
Yeah.
It is the top most searched game on Google. Hogwarts, believe it or not, in the past top 10 games searched on Google in the past like forever. It didn't even get a single
was a fun
nomination.
game.
Something is going on there. I don't know if it was the controversy and the weirdo gamers and this and that and a fight between, right wing and left wing stuff. I don't know. But that fucking game recreated the world of Harry Potter better than anything. Joe will fucking tell you, man. Joe fucking loves Harry Potter. And he's like, this game is it. And it didn't get... You didn't even get nominated for art direction for that?
Yeah,
like, that
no,
is literally
no nod.
recreating the inside of the fucking castle and school better than
Hogwarts,
anything.
yeah.
Anyways, so obviously I'm passionate about certain things. I just wasn't passionate about Alan Wake 2. A lot of people said, Joe, you shouldn't have made any comment at all about the dancing being cringe because you didn't, number one, you didn't finish the game. So you don't get to talk about that performance. And I'm like, bruh. And so, anyways, when I posted, I said, many said I shouldn't have commented on the dance sequence if I had not finished the game. I understand your point of view, but unfortunately, look, I've never really been a fan of interpretive dance and musicals.
It's just a musical thing.
It's not
Yeah.
my thing.
It's
bro.
just it just didn't connect with us. It just didn't resonate with us.
So we said it was cringy, yeah, but you know what? look, I still respect your views. You can respect mine.
Yeah, if you
we have different opinions.
Yeah, we just have different opinions. It's just not our thing, you know. And that's all it was.
It's not a hateful thing.
What it was is a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, I went through the comments on the video, and a lot of people felt like we were shitting on Sam Lake's moment to be happy. It's like, bro,
I'm glad he was happy, but I just don't. I don't care for it.
We were
It was
watching it
just,
together,
you know?
just having a good time, having some laughs. Like it wasn't a mean thing. Like it was just not
I'll
our
read
cup
a
of tea.
comment for you here of a guy wanting to give criticism. It wasn't just the musical, Joe. It was the repeated talk of sympathy award that would upset us all. I guess he speaks for everybody. Who played Alan Wake 2. And then you disrespected Sam Lake while he was really just enjoying his time and being happy about getting the recognition he and his team really deserve. Okay, see, I can see from that point of view, you know, and I totally understand, because let me give you all the context to this. So 7 years ago, 7 years ago, Sam Lake, you know, gave this vlog where it was like he was near tears, and he was like, hey, guys, I'm sorry we didn't get the funding for Alan Wake 2. This may never happen. And it was a sober moment for fans of that franchise. Here we are, 7 years later. Motherfucker wins 3 awards. He's over here dancing, doing the goofy things. It is a celebration. And so many people are like, Joe, you're the only one that I saw that fucking hated the dance sequence. All the other streamers and content creators loved it. And it's like,
You don't have to
get
love
it, man.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally understand. But honestly, I would be more upset with myself if all three of us were like, look, a lot of people like this, so we have to pretend we like it.
have to
All right,
pretend.
we're gonna cut this.
Everybody can be like, oh, yeah, Joe, epic win. Like, I'll take an epic fail, or I'll give a bad take. Listen, I've been doing this 13 years. You know how many fucking opinions I've had over 13 years? I'm going to miss a few, in your opinion. But I've also had people it's like, bro, I played the game too. I thought it was fucking genius in the game. But I understand how some people that didn't play the game could think it's cringy.
Yeah, I didn't play. I'm not a huge Alan Wake fan. I have a full-time job. I don't get to play a lot of games. Like, that's the reality of my situation. And like, so it's coming from someone that didn't get to play the game. It just seemed odd to me, and Jay was saying, it's just not our cup of tea.
Yeah, like, it's just, and it could have been a musical for Pokemon. I don't care. It's just I don't care for musicals. That was the whole thing. I'm glad everything was them enjoying it and everybody else enjoyed it. Go ahead. That's your cup of tea. You like it. I didn't.
We weren't saying you're wrong for liking it.
For sure. You're not wrong for liking it. It just wasn't our cup of tea. So moving on, I guess we can go to the Sympathy Award stuff. Look, in the past, I do feel that some games, now this is not voted on by Jeff Cayley. Jeff Cayley doesn't do all these voting. This is Kotaku, IGN, GameSpot, journalists. I'm not included. Other people are included. Maybe even some YouTubers. Who knows? I don't know the exact fucking list, but all these people vote on these. And now, while I don't have 100% confirmation, I've watched all of these Game Awards since back when they were bad. Me and Jeff, went at it. What was one of my first interviews ever?
Like 10 years
this guy's
ago?
20 years of PR experience, and he bodied me. He handled me. He was like, what is this like? But I was just there to ask legit like where some of these categories are a little off. I mean, Megan Fox winning Best Voice Actress when Jennifer Hale did her performance in Mass Effect that year.
My God, yeah.
What are you doing? And then sponsored by Mountain Dew, powered by Doritos in the different. Well, guess what? All that shit is lessened and gone, and they're taking it more serious. They improved. Jeff flew me out multiple shows, paid me for consulting. We talked about it. We hashed it out. I remember meeting him. I thought we was going to get into a fight. He was like, you were shitting on my wedding. And now it's like the same thing. I guess I kind of shit on Sam Lake's wedding. Well, I'm sorry if it offended you and hurt you that I was shitting on the moment Sam Lake was getting to dance and celebrate Alan Wake 2. I get it. But what I'm saying is that we might not always have the same opinions on things. And so as long as you do it in a respectful manner. So Sympathy Award was the wrong wording for some of these. I knew I was going to piss some people off when I said Nintendo games got the Sympathy Award. But I'm not actually using it in a negative connotation. I should have given you more context. For example, everybody knows how good the recent Super Mario is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how good the recent Zelda is, right?
Yeah,
But it's not going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And we know it wasn't going to win Game of the Year. So these different outlets and journalists are like, man, we got to give them recognition. So when it comes to Best Action Adventure, you kind of sometimes they cram in games that don't really belong and then give them the award because it's like, well, that's a damn good game.
Right.
That's what I mean by sympathy award. So I apologize for using the words.
And it's hard because the pace of the Game Awards itself is so high paced where it's just one after another. It's hard.
It was high paced in certain areas and then it slowed down.
Yeah.
And it was high paced in certain areas and it slowed down.
So let's get to that now. So before I was going to bring this up, is that we were right on the overall show. A lot of people think, oh, Joe, you don't like gaming anymore because we didn't like a lot of the trailers. There was a lot of W's we gave out to trailers. We were excited for OD, the new Kojima game. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in there that we did like.
Some really cool God of War content coming out for free.
But the thing I want you to take away is that we hit where we needed to hit. Because even developers agree with us. So here's this news story. Developers blast the celeb-laden Game Awards as a embarrassing indictment of a segment of the industry's desperation for validation and with little respect for the developers. Man. And honestly, I think I agree with that. Jay picked up on this when it's like they go up there for the award and they're like,
hurry up.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
They get less than 15 seconds to talk. Like the first award they gave out after, the God of War did the sick burn on Call of Duty. A lot of people were upset that we missed that.
I got it. I laughed.
He heard it. I got it later on. But it was like, I was talking for longer than Call of Duty's campaign. Because Call of Duty sucks this year. So it was sweet burn, sick burn. But if you want to watch it without us talking over certain segments, you got to watch the original and then we're doing the commentary later. But I noticed the award that was given out right after him, and so it's fresh in our mind that he had 8 minutes last year. How many minutes are they going to give the next guy? Well, the very next award, it was like 15 seconds before they started playing the music, and you're like, he barely even had time to say, thank you. I'd like, and
the funny thing is the God of War voice actor was like, take your time as much as you know, and then automatically play him off.
That's what it felt like. And then there was another couple.
A
guy and a girl went up there,
and he finished his speech. And then they start playing them off, and then she's like,
she didn't get to talk.
But no, she was awesome. She powered through. Yes. And good for her. Don't let
this is disrespectful. They're like, please wrap it up for everyone. And it really and developers noticed this year where it's like, bro,
well, even the
isn't
awards,
this the Game Awards,
the awards they just blew by. That really upset me because as some of these major categories,
big categories, right?
Yeah,
like racing,
fighting,
they're just
this guy won.
That guy won. This one, this one wins. And then next,
commercial.
This one wins. And then we go to these lame-ass trailers.
Yeah.
So I think that's why this year, and some of the week trailers that we gave it a average, a 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10 for me, is that I think it's a celebration of gaming. We were kind of, poo-pooing on some of the trailers that some people might have liked or the dance sequence. People want to be excited for a game, and I totally understand it.
And you don't have to like all the
You don't have to
games.
like it all.
There were certain points where we were excited. But
there was.
Like we were, it's okay not to like things. It's like we said
But
earlier.
I wish that they would give a little bit more time to the people who actually made these games to talk about them a little bit.
Give them the actual award. If they won the award, give them the award.
Yeah, like that's their labor of love, right? Like they worked on it.
It's like I'm reading off an answer sheet or something. No, that's all. Okay.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
all you get.
So, other than that, hope in the future that maybe instead of it being a trailer showcase and a non-gameplay, I would get it if it was gameplay. And
there was some gameplay, but not enough.
It's not as much.
Yeah, not as much.
And so we need a little bit more time to the actual developers to talk about who helped make it, and don't play them off so quickly, especially in a year with amazing games.
Yeah.
This is like the most 10 out of 10s I think I've given in a single year, and I honestly didn't. A lot of things happen behind the scenes in my own family that I couldn't cover every single game. I see people pissed off like, Joe, I'm unsubbing because you didn't cover Modern Warfare 3. It's like, bro, I want to cover it. I'm doing my best. I mean, Christmas is here. We got family in. Sometimes I'm going to miss things. I'm not the 300 employee IGN. I wish I was. But, you know, I do the best I can, and hopefully you guys are on board whether we agree on certain awards or not. So, moving on, one thing I think we can all agree with is Baldur's Gate killing it.
Yes.
They got that right.
Yes.
Baldur's Gate dominates the Game Awards with 6 wins, including
all deserved.
the Game of the
All
Year.
deserved.
Very
and I
much
think
so.
there's a couple in there they didn't win. They should have probably won.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm surprised. Yeah. So that beats out the number that Elden Ring won last year. And he was even saying, I didn't think we were gonna get it. He said, you know.
Well, I
So
mean,
he's a
that's a
humble
great
man.
a great example of early access. Like,
Yes.
you know, done. I mean, it
Oh,
was,
right.
It was.
So we
an
got
early-
the day before in
Yeah.
early access, and then you got this in early access. It's
that's a
just-
great because like I know you
Right.
played early access.
Oh, yeah.
right?
It took
Yeah.
a while. It did take a while. To be
Right.
fair, it took like 2 years. I ignored it while it was
did.
in early
Yeah.
access.
It did, but I mean, I played through early access, and
Yeah,
every
same.
time I played through it, it got better.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
it came out, it was
Fantastic.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's an early access done right.
Yeah.
for sure. So speaking of some wins and criticism, because we are critics here, Cyberpunk wins its first Game Award 3 years after it launched. So
Yeah.
the Cyberpunk didn't win anything because rightfully so.
Right.
It got released in a disaster. But I'd like to point out how, I don't know, it's kind of controversial.
What?
It was in, what was the category it was in?
Labor of Love.
No, it was in Best Ongoing Game.
Oh, ongoing
yeah,
game.
yeah.
It's kind of that seems like a category reserved for live service games,
Right.
Well, but
Or MMOs.
it was ongoing because they're always patching.
I know, but that's not fair. That's like forcing the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like changing the meaning
criteria,
of things
yeah.
to give it the award. That sympathy win kind of comes into
watch
to
out.
play there.
You're gonna get
Cyberpunk.
bad comments.
Oh, I don't care.
like these two new guys suck. They're so.
I don't care. But look, the Cyberpunk is a single-player RPG that, it received updates. It received an expansion.
And it was-
but it was literally up against live service games
Yeah.
and MMOs.
Well, I mean,
Maybe
that's
there
true.
needs to be two different categories,
Yeah.
like best DLC.
Yeah.
Like if it's a best DLC and Phantom Liberty won, I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, totally
Best-
get that.
Best
Best patch?
best patch.
yeah, best expansion.
Best expansion.
expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So, and did I go through the game? Because our recording
Yeah,
stopped. Did I
messed
go
up.
through Alan Wake 2 won
Yeah.
on this one? On
I
the
think you did.
second
you say
recording?
you did mention the three.
The
that,
three. I don't know if that was on the other recording. I think that was on the other recording. I'll just say it again. So Alan Wake ended up getting 3 awards, and I didn't mean to, say that it got a sympathy award because I do think it deserves the narration. I totally agree with the narration. If
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
said this, I don't remember if our cameras are shut off. So I think it deserves best narration, but best art direction. I'm not on board with that. There was Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario, Zelda, hell, Hogwarts could have even been
Yeah.
nominated
Yeah.
there. So hopefully we can respectfully disagree. I don't think that the best art direction was Alan Wake 2, but there are people that are out there and like, fuck you, Joe. I'm
Yeah.
done with your show
Yeah,
because you
you're done.
said that.
Yeah.
And then the best game direction. I think that could have gone either way. It
Yeah.
won.
That's-
Alan Wake 2
yeah.
won that, but there was Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And,
There
and
was
that's one that I thought
Baldur's
maybe
BG3.
BG3 should have won. Yeah.
Super
Same.
Mario Brothers Wonder, Legend of Zelda again, and Marvel's Spider-Man. Marvel's Spider-Man got snubbed. So Hogwarts didn't even get a category,
Yeah.
which is bullshit.
Not even nominated
Spider-Man
at all.
was in 6 categories,
It's
zero awards.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a
like,
shame.
whoa.
That's
Wow. And the TikTok generation got really pissed at that.
It was-
I saw
yeah.
this funny TikTok. This guy was like, he was doing the Game Awards as normal. Best game direction, Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate. Alan Wake, what? Because he wanted Spider-Man to
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
And it kept going, and he was like, best Spider-Man suit. Baldur's Gate 3. I was like, what? Because Baldur's Gate was winning everything. Oh, the first
Right,
one was
yeah,
not
yeah.
Alan Wake 2. It was Baldur's Gate 3 that won. And it was just making fun. And so there were a lot of people upset that Spider-Man 2 didn't get anything. So obviously this is gaming, and we have disagreements on what
people
will win
like
and
what they
won't.
like,
Yeah.
and
We'll be more diplomatic about it, but we will never tell you something just because it's something that we think you want to hear. That's
Yeah.
not us here at the Angry Joe Show.
we're not gonna
We're gonna tell
pander.
you
We're
what,
gonna
what we like and what we don't like.
give it to
I
you
mean,
straight, man. There's
And
nothing
if
wrong.
we more
with
disagree with it, that's fine.
There's nothing wrong with.
Sorry for shitting on Sam Lake if it personally offended you. I wasn't intending
We
to
were-
shit
yeah,
on him.
we
I
were
just
not-
didn't
we
like the
didn't.
performance.
We didn't.
I'm happy that it won best game narrative because Alan Wake 2. From what I play, I even enjoyed it on stream a little bit. I would like to finish it eventually, and maybe that level with the crazy ass performance will make way more sense when I get to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about all. I think we've covered it all. Thank you guys so much. We'll try to put back the live reactions if you want it. That 3.5-hour video was getting claimed and pulled down, so it's rendering now. It'll be up maybe later on today or tomorrow. Next up is the RoboCop review. Because the boys went out, I had a lot of other editing and things to take care of, so it's been delayed. Hopefully we'll have that out this week.
Yep.
And then come and hang out with us on Twitch. We are picking up the slack where Joe and Alex are out. We're playing the finals.
Yeah.
We've been playing the day
before.
and then we're trying to wait for the boys to come back to do Rogue Trader. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe, support the show on Patreon, on Twitch, wherever you want to, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Deuces.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.